And hello, one and all to the Absolute Football Podcast. It's me, the D-O-double-G, Josh, and I am not in my regular place today. As you can tell, I decided to do the pod from the pub. So I don't know if it's... I'm lying. I'm at my in-laws. We're expecting a new addition to the family any time now. So not my family, my wife's family. Before anyone starts congratulating me, I've done nothing. But that is right. So if anything doesn't work very well, it is my fault. I have to apologise in advance. And
I just noticed you've got a brewery basically behind you. I didn't even see that.
I have got a brewery. I'm already teed up. I've got a spice ready to go. There's an array. There's a big array. So we'll get to it. We're looking forward to it. But I'm not alone because we have Heather in the chat. Hello, Heather. Hello. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy it today. And of course, it is Solaris from, I'm assuming, Crab's own raid. And Torsten.
No, it doesn't work like that.
That's just how he rolls. But it's not just me and you guys. There's Charlotte. Hello, Charlotte. How are you?
Hello, I'm really good. How is everyone?
Oh, I'm just I'm stupendous. I'm stupendous. And there's Mr. Lucas Crab Dribble. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm looking forward to the long weekend.
It is. And I did say, I spoke to one of my colleagues at work today, and I said, do you know what? I'm really grateful for Jesus for this weekend. I mean, what a hero.
I'm really grateful for Jesus.
Yeah. You should get it on a t-shirt.
Thanks for the extra 2 days off work.
Yeah, not only did he die, right? He
came back to give us another bank holiday.
Right?
Oh, mate, the Christians are going to have a laugh at this.
And not just that, 2,000 years ago, people still give a shit. And so they give a shit to the extent. If I died tomorrow, I think my wife would mourn me for a couple of months, maybe a year. 2,000! What a man. Thank you, Big G.
Big G.
Big G.
Big JC.
What a way to start the pod.
What a way to start. Thank you very much. This is actually my father-in-law's man cave. It's not mine. But I mean, what it is, I just wanted to delay the inevitable of discussing the first game feeling that we need to cover.
Question, is that is a Scar logo in the back, isn't it?
It is.
The figure, the man.
That's madness.
That's madness.
There's a light sign that says, let's get drunk and talk shite. And that is actually the door to the toilet. just to prove it, I'm not going to go. But look, it's the real doors. But again, I'm delaying the inevitable of discussing Man City 4, Liverpool 1. I didn't want to do it. Didn't really want to do it at all. I had no interest in discussing this game.
Well, why don't you kick us off then, Josh?
Go on.
I tell you. I'll talk about Pep after the game of football. We need new players. That's all. I still maintain anybody that says Klopp out is a lunatic. I think they're still the lunatics. But he's.
You think? You don't think you could be doing better with the current set?
I think there's got to be a consideration given to how well we've performed for such a long period of time, I think, because it's been 3 seasons of playing almost every single game that they possibly could be playing, and they're just exhausted. They're going to be tired, I imagine. There's not enough competition for Trent. I think we need to get that sorted out, and we need an engine. We never replaced Gigi Wijnaldum, and that's really showing now. That's really showing. I mean, in the chat,
you do need new players. They gave up.
Yeah.
You look like you gave up. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Chris. I'm glad we were able to enhance your. It had. So I'll leave that with it, Solaris. And I'm glad you. I'm assuming Heather's talking about the background and not my not the results. And what's this? That's just.
That's kicking the man while he's down.
Yeah, that's just really mean. And it did. the thing. It's so frustrating when you think we did so well against Man United, and we've had spots where we've done well, and then all of a sudden they just sort of capitulate. And yeah, I think everybody's tired. I think they can get their energy up for the big games, and then they're just too tired and they're worn out then for every other game. And it reminds me a little bit of Rafa's Liverpool.
Yeah.
He always had us performing really well in the big games. And it's like everyone just got tired because we lacked skill and skillful players at that point in time. But I think at the moment, I think the energy's gone. I think they're
to be fair, Rafa's Liverpool, the one thing you actually had was a decent midfield.
Yeah, and it's terrible now.
The
It's
midfield
just
is
aging. Yeah.
But also that's why I think Klopp, like, it's funny because I get the whole not wanting Klopp to leave based on what he's done in the past, but then you also have to consider the fact of what he's not done in the past. And he's been, what's this, his 6th season? 5 or 6?
Yeah.
So in 6 seasons, he has literally let the midfield age. 6 seasons is pretty much like, what are you doing for 6 years in a row to not address the fact that you've got an aging midfield? And it's not like you have, like, I know Liverpool aren't blessed with money, but you have spent money, and it's like he has to take a huge part of the blame for the fact that you have not added to that midfield in 6 seasons.
Yeah, I think because he's prioritised a lot in one area.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, you bought Konate, you've added Joe Gomez as well during that time frame, and then look what you did, Nunes Gakpo in one window. So it's
I mean,
that's a good point from Zirsi, actually. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah,
give Gomez a run on the right back.
I think because I'm sure he tried it at some point earlier in the season, and he does all right. I don't think he does too bad. He's a different type of right back, and we have to sort of adjust our style of play.
Well, he can defend 1-on-1. That's the thing. He's just out of position in centre back. He just dozes off a bit, but he can be a fullback.
Yeah, but it is it's two sins on my side.
But why didn't you, like? I don't understand why you bought Gakpo in January and not a midfielder.
Me neither. I really don't know.
I don't think Gakpo's a bad player, but I'm just like, you had Jota coming back and you have Diaz coming back.
Yeah.
So now they're all back, right? Diaz is he's fit for this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Or for the bench.
Yeah. I think
so you're gonna have what? Diaz, Jota, Nunes, Gakpo, Firmino, Salah. That's 6.
Yeah. I wasn't. I don't mind, like, same as you. Gakpo's a good player, and I don't mind us bringing him in, but he wasn't what we needed, really. I think we could have done with a tidy midfielder. But I think my only worry is we've done this with another signing before. I can't remember who it is, but we put all of our eggs in one basket and think this is the player that we want, and if we can't have him, then we won't. They did the same thing with, like, Alisson, same thing with Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk's probably the best example because we actually ended up with him properly, and we had to go through a lot of that. And then I think he's doing it now with Bellingham. And that's scary because Bellingham's really good. And he's got a lot of really good teams in really good positions after him. And it's not like we're performing really well. So he's going to be looking over from Dortmund going, yeah, that's a place to be.
Putting all your eggs in one basket here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unnerving. And yeah, that's the thing that worries me. And that's why I think he didn't spend big. We thought, well, we'll just get Gakpo for a little bit of money because it wasn't huge money. And he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it wasn't what we needed, and it's unnerving. And Chris is here. So you've got Real Madrid with Modric, Cruz, and too many, Camavinga, and yeah, I mean we went in for Tuchemeni as well. Swines at Real Madrid. Why decided to go to Real Madrid instead of Liverpool? Who knew?
Probably the £100 million price tag they added on top.
Yeah, so I mean, it's unnerving. I think we definitely need a new midfield 3.
I'd be raiding some of the teams that go down, or even some of the ones that just survive.
Yeah,
Leicester. I think Leicester are going to get raided regardless of what happens. But
I don't know if I'd take anyone from Leicester. I'm not enamoured with any of their players, to be perfectly honest with you.
Who have they got in? And Tielemans, Maddison, and Didi.
I mean,
Didi would be a good option.
They were all big names, but they've sort of fallen away.
Oh, Ward-Prowse is the perfect one, to be honest.
Yes.
Because he brings energy and... Oh, imagine you got him and Trent. Like, you got the 2 best crosses in the league.
I would. I'd take Ward-Prowse. over
Yeah, so would I, to be
Mason
honest.
Mount. Although there was a statement, there was a Mason Mount statement.
This is happening, I think. I think this is actually happening. I think the Bellingham thing's not gonna happen. You're gonna get Mount. It's gonna be like, we couldn't get Bellingham, but we got the other English player.
Oh, you can get a shirt with him on. That'd be so lovely.
I have got Charlotte. I owed a favour, so I've got a statement. I've got a statement that I've been asked to read. Right. Okay. So Mason Mount is one of the best young talents in English football. I really rate him. I would love him at football. I love him at football at Liverpool. I'd love him to be able to play football.
Is this a direct
I would
quote?
go as far as to say Mason Mount should be called Mason Mountain because he's at the absolute peak. And if Liverpool took him and Chelsea got Bellingham, I'd be happier than James Milner at the paint drying contest.
How come we made you do that again? I forgot.
Do you really want me to say it live? Because I owed Charlotte a favour. She did.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it there. And Heather loves Mason Mount. I wouldn't be surprised if we went for Mason Mount. Mason Mount. Is it
probably do well in your team, though.
midfielder at Wolves?
Oh, Nevers would be amazing, but they want silly money.
Yeah.
But Mount is the kind of midfielder that. There you go. There's your. I don't want to say Wijnaldum because Wijnaldum's levels better than him, but there's your legs in midfield that you've been missing. He'll run for the whole game. Yeah,
potentially, I suppose. I mean, Madison took hit and miss for me.
Oof, Madison could be an interesting one.
Mm.
I just don't know. He doesn't play in the 3 though, does he? He can do it though. He's done it at Leicester. Played a bit deeper.
Reminds me of Philippe Coutinho.
Well, a luxury player. I think he's a bit more. Well, yeah, actually, he's not as hard. Yeah, he doesn't have the. He's not going to press all game.
Yeah, but yeah, we shall see. But I mean, yeah. So I'm sad. I'm really, really sad with Liverpool. Before I move on to the shenanigans during and before the game, I mean, Charlotte as our closest resident to Manchester, so you can't be a true Manchester fan living that close to Manchester. How did that game make you feel?
To be honest, I kind of expected it, even when, I don't mean to be awful, even when Liverpool did go 1-0 up, City were just on top. I think they played a lot of good football. I think Jack Grealish played really, really well as well. Yeah. I think he got right into the game, and obviously, I think that's one of the best performances I've seen of him this season. But they just, even their midfield, it's just so much better than Liverpool's, and I don't want to be so negative because I feel bad because you're on. But yeah, I was expecting it, and I was expecting it to be quite a big scoreline as well.
I know. Do you know what? When I saw Haaland was out injured, I don't know if I was happier or sadder because I went to see Man City play live at the Champions League against Red Bull, where they won 7-0. But watching it, the style of football, when you then watch them against Liverpool, it was so much better without Haaland, as in the way that they played and the way that they created.
Yeah.
It was.
I was more worried for you about because Haaland's got one goal against you, and it was a tap in three games against Liverpool. Van Dijk and Konate, they can deal with Haaland. And Konate can keep up with him, and then the strength, they can deal with him. But yeah, the Alvarez factor, that was like prime City in that second half. It was all 3 of them moving around and swapping, and I was like, yeah, this is a bit strange that we haven't seen any of this all season. But I mean, when you got Mr. 60 goals a season, it's kind of explained in itself. But if he finds a way to fit them both in, and I mean, yeah,
he won't though, because he'd have to play some conventional football then rather than slick it round area, wouldn't he? Because he wouldn't have enough bodies, I think, to take it. And then there's some very mean comments in the chat there from Chris. City reserve midfielders first. That's just hurtful. But Heather, Haaland doesn't track back. He waits for the ball. He does, and that's
he does press though. To be fair to him, he does press.
Yeah, but I was watching him live. What I did notice is when they got the ball on a counter attack at Liverpool, we get the ball on a counter, went whap straight over the top, and you got the players onto it. Haaland is a machine. I mean, Lisa in the chat saying he's like a tank, and he is. If you watch him, and his positions he takes up is amazing, and the pressure as soon as he's on it, he's got it. You can't stop him. He's so fast. He's like a machine, and he doesn't miss. His shots are just superb. And as soon as they break, I was thinking pop a ball over. He could have scored 9 in that game, and they just didn't, which is scary because if they used him properly, oh my god, he'd be absolutely terrifying. Which is a strange statement for a guy.
I think they play both of them. I don't know why they don't play Alvarez on the right, or play him just behind Haaland and play KDB a little deeper.
And more mean comments in the chat for all of our audio listeners, on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, and all that jazz. We are live Monday 8 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch, and if you want to come in and bully me, that's fine.
You've got to get rid of him. He is like a terrible footballer right now.
Like, it's just lovely, though.
He's
so
awful.
Lovely.
I mean, he never was amazing, but he did a job when he had legs. Now he's not got legs, he's being exposed for the lack of footballing technique he has. He just can't pass the ball. You know what it is with Henderson was it makes me laugh. And he does this for England. It's the like 30-yard just like clearances into the middle of nowhere when like there's no pressure. He just kicks it into the air for no reason. And it never goes to anyone. He just kicks it. He literally just kicks the ball like he's in the park.
I like that. That is exuberance of youth. That's what that is.
Oh, that's why he passes 3 yards, because that's the safest option. Otherwise than that, whenever he tries to play one, it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
I do feel for you for a little bit, but also, you got Champions League and a league in the last few years, so I kind of don't feel.
Well, that's the thing, and I think we've just set such a high standard for so long. I think Liverpool fans have to remember it's really lovely that people think it's a bad thing that we aren't competing for the league this season. The fact that people are expecting that of us every year, competing for the Champions League and the Premier League, is really lovely. You have to remember that. And Stinky,
I was just going to say, oh yeah. Are you biased, Stinky, because Tsimikas is Greek? Be honest now, Stinky.
I like Tsimikas. Do you know what? Genuinely, at this point in time,
he's a good player.
I take Trent off and have Tsimikas and Robbo.
So I don't understand why he doesn't, because Robertson used to rotate with Trent last season.
Yeah.
Like during the game, they used to swap positions. So why doesn't he just play Robertson right back? When Trent's having, why doesn't he just give Trent a break?
Yeah, I would.
These are very valid questions. It's like, this is all on the manager. This is all on Klopp. It's like, it's almost like he's not even trying anymore, or he just generally is. It might just be stubbornness in his ways, and he's just so much. He's like, no, my football is the one way, and I have to play.
I think everyone's tired. I think they've all tired.
That too. You've gone at it for the last 3-4 years with Man City, like right to the wire, and you were in all four. You were on a quadruple up until when?
Well, the last game, the last game of the Premier League, and
last game of the Premier because Villa. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, so right until the end of the season, you were in all 4 competitions today, and then no rest. Yeah, it's a lot of factors.
I mean, and Chris is bringing us on to the point that I wanted to touch on before we move. What do I think of the Pep celebrations? And I have to remember that we're not PG, but we're close to PG. I like to try and be relatively friendly family. I think he was being a bit of a prick. It's the nicest way I could put it.
Call him Pepper, see you next Tuesday.
I mean, because my problem is with it, and then even his trying to justify it. Oh, I was just saying to him, like I do with my son, what a brilliant goal. That's lovely to do with your son. I think that's really sweet. Tsimikas isn't your son.
That we know of.
Well, he could be, but for me, that's just not right. It's not right for you to grab hold of one of the opposing players. Did you see how good that goal is we just scored against you? We're smashing the back end out of you guys, and we're that brilliant. You're a lot of crap. That doesn't sit right with me. And I think, as somebody said, well, Klopp's a big one for shouting and screaming, which, number one, I don't agree with, as in the principle of doing it. But number two, that's at the officials, not at the opposing players. And I think if Klopp, I can't think of any examples when Klopp has tried to celebrate one of our goals with a member of the opposing team. That's like the weirdest sentence you've ever said. I can't remember Alex Ferguson, sort of grabbing hold of Martin Keown going, hey, mate, did you see that goal that we just scored? That was a humdinger, wasn't it? It doesn't sit right with me. And, I think maybe that's where Arteta got his disregard for
100%,
yeah. All the decorum for how you behave as a manager is just gone because he thinks that's it. And the thing is, he thinks it's acceptable, and he sort of tried to like brush it away like it was nothing, when it's really you were being a penis. Don't do it. No.
He's usually quite composed as well, Pep, on the touchline, but I think he towards the end of the season he's getting pumped, and I think the players kind of want to see that as well. And I think he knows exactly what he's doing. This is the thing. This man is a genius when it comes to football. So he knows what he's doing. He knew the fallout afterwards. He knew the clips and stuff. And look at the effect on the team performance straight afterwards as well. Like, I know it was a goal, but
if he just came out and said, "Yeah, fair enough, I shouldn't have done that," but you know, it is what it is. You can accept that. They can't be like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that? I celebrate all of my goals with the opponents. You know, I invite them all in afterwards and we watch the game together, watch a bit of match today. Look how we pumped you guys. Let's have a pint together." That's not real life. Does anyone disagree with me, or are we all on par with that?
I'm on par.
Yeah, I think it's a bit extra.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see the because I was watching the game, but I was playing FIFA at the time, to be honest, but I must have missed a bit when he talked to the player. Because I saw the celebration, I thought that the outrage of the celebration was a bit much, but I don't think I've seen the actual.
Yeah, he sort of like.
I've seen the Arthur. Is the Shimakas bit or is it the Arthur bit? Because I've seen the one with Arthur, but then they were talking about Shimakas. It's Shimakas that he says the goal to, right?
I think he speaks to Simaka. I can't remember which goal it was. I just know that
there's two players who walked past him. I think.
I only saw the bit after. There was one he tried to that blanked him. He grabbed hold of Simacus and tried to celebrate.
So Shimaka, and then Arthur's like walks past him.
And then he shaking Arthur's hand, and Arthur Miller was like, "Ooh, a manager's acknowledging my existence."
Oh yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, my name's Arthur. I play football. That's where I think his excitement come from. But I mean, talking of excited, Arsenal 4, Leeds 1. Lucas, it's happening. How does it make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, if you lot decide, you lot just play how you played against Man City on Sunday evening, please. No funny business at Anfield. No nostalgia football. Okay, just exactly what you did against Man City. Just do that on Sunday, and we'll be good. Because here's where it begins, doesn't it? I mean, the Leeds game, Leeds. You know what? The first 20 minutes they actually played very well, and they were like Somerville and Sinistera are just a nightmare to defend against. Those two. They play pretty well, but you just knew it. And I was watching it, and I was like, what are we doing? Just attack them, because you know as soon as they get on the pressure, those clowns they have at the back, like Luke Ayling. Oh my god, how he's still like their captain and starting for them. And what's the other guy, Robin Koch or whatever, isn't it? They're awful players, like they are. I'm sorry, but they're not good enough for a Premier League team. So all you have to do with a team like Leeds is just wait, because someone will do something stupid. Just wait. And there you go, penalty. And after we scored the penalty, I was like, yeah, we're going to batter them here. There's only a matter of time. But we should be. Leeds at home. It should be without question. And I just wanted to get that and Palace out of the way, because I'm ready. I'm pumped for this run. It begins. Here it is. Here is the actual title run. Have you seen our fixtures? So we've got Liverpool away, which again, notoriously a very difficult game for us. And then we've got West Ham away, which relegation threatened West Ham. It's not always easy going there anyway. Then Southampton at home, relegation threatened, but we should beat them. But again, Southampton, Man City away, Chelsea at home, Newcastle away. So I think if we are still first after Newcastle away, there's 3 games left to go, but just give us the title, then it's done. It's done. But that's the run. This is where it is. And I think Man City look like they're ready for it. Man City are like, yep, we'll just win all our games as well. So your move, Arsenal.
I mean, but Heather's a Bournemouth fan, I believe. She wants you to thrash West Ham.
I mean, I hope so for the league, but I don't want to see West Ham get relegated. Sorry, Heather.
I mean, DJ Ross would appreciate that of us. Can't remember. Oh my god! I didn't. Man who shall not be mentioned on this podcast. But that, all about West Ham, is still live on YouTube. Don't acknowledge the mistake while I'm making.
What do you lot think? Even with those fixtures, do you think we're gonna do it?
I do.
I've got a feeling as well.
I do.
I think we when we play City, it will be, as Chris has said, 5 points clear. I don't know. I honestly think if we beat you at Anfield, I think that might even be it. Because that's just enough for it to go. Yeah, I mean, who's stopping us here?
I gotta be honest. I would really like it.
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, if Pep.
But
Oh, you'd love it
yeah.
if Pep won nothing this season after buying Haaland. Can you imagine? And losing the league to his understudy. Ooh.
That'd be immense. After giving them players as well.
Giving them players, yeah.
But
then he can always, in Pep's ego, would be like, he'll say something. They'll be like, we gave them Jesus and Zinchenko. They're a very good side. We know, he'll do that kind of thing. But it's almost
like Arteta's the best manager in the league, know. And
he's like, I made him, so it's kind of my doing in a way, sort of thing. He probably loves it. In his head, if he's like, if I don't win the league, at least it's someone I trained who's winning it.
Yeah, except my understudy. I mean, and Torsten in the chat, he wants to mention out to Captain Odegaard. I love the fact that he managed to get the O in his text, incidentally. I could never do that. But Odegaard handing the penalty to Jesus. We've already thanked Jesus on the podcast.
I didn't like it. I thought it was a joke. And that's nothing to do with the fact that Odegaard is in my fantasy team. And Jesus is not. Completely separate to that. I thought it was completely disrespectful and should never be done again.
Leslie thinks you should drug test Arteta's hairpiece. and Lisa thinks United and Arsenal are going to fight it out. I'm assuming Lisa's referring to United because she's saying us with Chris, and Chris is a United fan. I think it's all City.
It's a lot to play for. I don't know. What do you if you go into the City? Let's say we drop points at Anfield. Let's say you beat us, and then City win their game. Then they're 2 points behind going into the Etihad game, assuming we beat West Ham and Southampton. But I think the problem is, if we lose to Liverpool, I think going to West Ham as well there's pressure, and especially if City win, I think those kind of things is where it's a problem before that game. We don't want to go to the Etihad on level behind City. I mean, we don't really want to go there with them just 2 points. We want to go there with 5 points clear.
Yeah, even if you can say sort of levelish with them, if there's like a point or something between you, I think as long as you're ahead, you could sort of stay ahead. I mean, Chris is asking, do you know who Arsenal's official penalty taker is?
Bukayo Saka. Yeah, it's Saka, and then I think it's Odegaard.
And Torsten said he's from Norway, so that might explain why he's got the cool stuff on his keyboard.
I mean, Norway need to qualify for an international tournament. I mean, what is going on? You've got Odegaard and Haaland now. No excuses. And there's a few other decent players in there, I think. But you've got Haaland. Forget Odegaard. You've got Haaland. You have to qualify.
And I'm assuming Heather might be referring to Saka as the star. I think he's having a great season. I think he's still young, so I think he will teeter off potentially a little bit at the tail end, and I wouldn't judge him about sort of tailing off because of his age. Football. Yeah, he's done a lot and he's a good player. But speaking of tailing off and starting well and perhaps not doing as well, let's move on to Manchester United. Newcastle 2, Manchester United 0. Jadon Sancho talks today. Jadon Sancho is obviously he's not had the best season, and Eric Ten Hag very unhappy with him. He's only able to start from the bench. But yeah, Newcastle 2, Manchester United 0. Charlotte, how did that one make you feel?
It sounds weird, but I kind of expected it because I just think Manchester United at the minute are on quite a bad run, and especially away from home as well. They don't seem to be doing that great away from Old Trafford. I think Casemiro's obviously a big loss. I think even Eriksen, they kind of underestimated how much Eriksen is a big miss. And I don't want to be awful as well, but when you've got McTominay in midfield, obviously Sabitzer's just come in. I think it's, I don't want to say pear-shaped because I don't think it is going to pear-shaped for Manchester United, but I think they are going through a bit of a blip now. And obviously Marcus Rashford isn't getting the goals who they heavily relied on. So, yeah, I think they're going through a bit of a rocky stage at the minute, Manchester United. And I think a lot of it is because Casemiro isn't playing.
I mean, Cersei made the point, Newcastle were all over them, which they were in Finn. The thing that confuses me, though, you mentioned McTominay, he doesn't strike me as a 10.
Yeah.
Is that where he was playing? I haven't seen the highlights.
Yeah, for the first part of the game, I think I'm not sure whether he saw him sort of play further ahead with Scotland and thought, oh, he did well there. Let's try that over the Premier League. But yeah, he's not that.
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
a bit
that.
weird.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. I think you're right, Charles. I think they've definitely missed Casemiro, which is unnerving in a sense that one player goes and they struggle like Billy O. But
it's like Weghorst as well. I don't mean to be like disrespectful to Weghorst, but at the minute is pretty useless, isn't it?
Yeah, his purple patches.
Yeah,
that is so disrespectful to Weghorst.
To be fair to them, they haven't scored 3 Premier League games.
Yeah,
but they the first one was the Anfield drumming, which was a little bit of an anomaly. And then the second one was Southampton, but then they were down to 10 men quite early on. And then Newcastle away, who have the best defensive record in the league. So it's kind of like the 3 games in context are games at 10 men, and then also the best defense and Anfield, which they never get a result at. So I think after this, so Chris said that they're at Old Trafford for the next 2 games. They're playing like Everton, West Ham, or something like that. Like, we'll see what they do against Everton on Saturday. If they don't put a performance in there, then I'd start to be a little bit worried, because top 4 is not a given for United.
Definitely.
No,
I think have they got Brentford as well on? Is it Wednesday?
That's it. Yeah,
Brentford at home,
first, then Everton. Yeah,
that'd be a tough game as well.
Yeah, Brentford score. Yeah, Brentford are good going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got some tough games. I mean, at the moment you've got Everton. Everton are playing Spurs, and at the moment that is 0-0. It's 30-something.
What an
minutes.
exciting game! I'm glad I'm not watching it.
Well, you've got...
just listen at Everton Spurs 0-0. That must be one of the most boring halves of football you could ever watch.
There's been one shot on target.
Oh my God, from Everton, right?
No, from Spurs.
Spurs. Oh, okay.
In fairness, Everton
Exciting
have had 5 shots. Spurs have had 3, and there's been 2 corners. So, some exciting stuff.
We should have done a watch along. We would have had to sleep.
God, that'd be mean, wouldn't it? Harry Kane and Spurs are doing Spursy stuff. They will.
Who is it? Ryan Mason is the manager now.
I believe so. Temporarily.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Literally, fourth place is like 4th and 3rd at this point. It's just like, well, 4th is like up for grabs. But I mean, Brighton, come on.
Well, I think if Spurs win, Spurs actually knock United out of the top 4, although United have a game in hand. So Chris is telling us Stellini is...
okay, the assistant is... Okay.
Which he won games. Nobody liked the football still, but he won. But nobody likes winning games at Spurs or cups. Nothing. They don't want to win things at Spurs. But yeah, I mean, but staying on point a little bit, Newcastle, didn't they do lovely? I mean, Lucas, what do you think of what Eddie Howe is doing at Newcastle after that win took them into 3rd position?
I was starting to not necessarily doubt them. I think Eddie Howe is a very good coach and manager. I just didn't think. I thought their position was a little bit false this season, without being too harsh on Newcastle, because I think they've done very well with the players they've got and Eddie Howe. But I think it was a bit of a false in that they were in the top 4 and about 40 points for a big chunk. So it's like they didn't have a lot of points on the board, and they were drawing a lot of games. But I think since Ishak's come back, they've actually looked a lot better going forward with him in the team and helping out. They've had injuries, but yeah, I think going forward has been their problem. They haven't been able to attack properly. But defensively, I mean, you can't say anything about that. He's coached the proper defensive side there. I mean, they're like that game we've got. I mean, we're all talking about Anfield. I'm like, what, are we really going to go to Newcastle and beat them? Like, no, who's beating Newcastle at home this season?
I've got no idea.
Has anyone beaten them at home this season? They've lost 1 game, I think. Two.
They've lost 3. They've lost 3 games according to the current table.
Oh yes, they lost
2 of those have come in the last 5 games as well.
A little bit of a blip post Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
I'd say before and after. Yeah,
because there was so much hype around that game, I think, as well. So they're probably a little bit bummed out that
that
happened.
And they missed Pope for a bit, but no, he's done well. Honestly, if he gets them in top 4 this season, that is a insane achievement.
Do you know what?
And if we don't win the league, for example, we come 2nd, Eddie Howe should get manager of the year. If we come, you know what? It's a debate. I think that's a very fair debate. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, actually, to be fair, coming 2nd is still pretty good considering where we were. But if let's say if Man City win the league, we come 2nd, Newcastle come 3rd or 4th. If they get top 4, Then you've got a really tough one between Arteta and Eddie Howe for manager of the year.
And I tell you what, I've got a new favourite person in the chat, Craig Bradley. They lost 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig. I mean, something positive to be able to talk
That was
about.
Pope's, like, when he ran out to the halfway line. That was that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, though, Craig. Because I've been well bummed up. But there's a
How
lot,
much did you pay him, Josh, to say that?
Nothing at all.
Give him a tip off.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've been so depressed. Being a Welsh Liverpool fan this year has been horrible. It's been absolutely horrible. But I mean, yeah, as Cersei said, in a normal season, Newcastle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Spurs, yeah, and
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
But you got to take advantage with Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs,
Yeah.
even United. Now you've got to take, and they're doing it. So, I would like to see them get top 4 because I do like Newcastle and I do like Eddie Howe, but I'm also like, fuck, if they get top 4 a year early, who are they going to buy in the summer? Like, it's just another.
That is the
another titan of a club in like Newcastle Champions League football, and just like can spend 300 million. There you go. Neymar to the tattoo side. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Neymar shouldn't be anywhere near.
No, those ones won't happen. I think they're very smart with what they're doing.
But I mean, speaking of people in the Premier League who are going potentially in the Champions League, spending a lot of money, to somebody who's in the Premier League spending a lot of money, not just on players but on managers, but still losing. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2.
Boy,
I mean, Lucas,
the nail in the coffin.
You was an Emery fan, I imagine, when he was saying good evening to all of you guys, all you cunners. What a job he's done at Villa.
He's a good manager, Emery. He's just not. So is Graham Potter, though, to be fair, but they're just not. They need certain clubs where they can be given the license to do what they want to do. And Emery wants to play 4-4-2, fluid counter-attacking football with 2 strikers. And, you know, he's done the same thing everywhere he's gone. He's tried to do it. Look what Aubameyang and Lacazette had them scoring goals. Villarreal, he had Gerard Moreno scoring only, I think it was a Messi only scored more goals than him in that season. And now look at Ollie Watkins. He's like, Ollie Watkins is what, 3rd? Is he just behind Tony now?
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
He's above Mitrovic, I think, now.
Yeah.
In terms of goals. So he knows how to get goals out of his striker and he knows how to set up a defense. He's a good manager, Emery. He's a good manager. He just wasn't right for Arsenal. But he's doing a job. And I think, I don't know if I'm surprised they sacked him after that one, but I'm kind of like, you can't lose that Aston Villa at home. You're playing Real Madrid in 2 weeks. Sort out your shit.
And the thing is, they started to look like they were doing well. I mean, the Champions League, they started performing and doing bits. And, you know, he started to get Joe Felix, or whatever he wants to be called these days, performing well. And it's just not happened. And I can't help but laugh because they spent so much money. so much money.
And even more now because they had to pay off Potter.
Well, that's the thing. They paid 20 million, I think it was. They're getting released. And my understanding is he had the longest managerial contract Chelsea ever offered, but they've had to pay like between 50 to 60 million to get him out. So 70 million on a manager just to bring him in and to let him go a couple of months later.
They're playing a dangerous game, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Todd Bowley, a very dangerous game with the investment and just, it's not what you need. I hope it goes wrong.
And the thing is, they bought all of these players for what? Because I'm assuming they can't have been Potter's decision.
I don't think they were. I don't think it was anything.
No, it's Todd Bowley was involved. Yeah. But he doesn't know about. Football's not his game. So it's like he's hired 3 technical / sporting directors now since January, and it's become a little bit more stable. Hence why on the pitch has been a bit more. The football operations look like the coaching and everything's in order a bit. And some of the last few signings were a bit more long term around the club, like Madueke, Fafana, and things like that. But apparently Todd Bowley's involved in all of it. He's like, I want to get that player, and it's like, well. The next manager is going to come in with a load of players who you can't get rid of because everyone's silly contracts. Yeah. Is he going to sack him if he doesn't perform well?
They've all got 8-year contracts, all these players as well.
It's actually mad because the next one, you can't sack the next manager because if you give him another 150, 200 million in summer, you can't sack him.
It's just crazy. Chris is saying he had a 7-year contract. I saw that. I saw he had 5 years and then he had a 3-year extension, but I could only find that in one news source. I thought, that can't be real. Why would they give him a 3-year extension like a couple of months in? That sounds mental. But yeah, it must be true. I'm not the only one. Quick is saying there, he went to the wrong job.
Yeah.
But you
got a decent chunk of money out of it, decent windfall.
Yeah, I mean, and you would have thought you've got to give him a chance because it is a different ownership. So you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt that perhaps it did something. But no, apparently not. Chris is saying Bodie's treating it like monopoly money.
Yep.
At least in the chat saying Harry Potter would have done better.
I don't know why he did so bad. I mean, I get the thing, but I still don't get why he was doing so bad because he knows how to coach a team, but it might have just been...
It's too much. I think it's
too much. Yeah, too much to take on at one point. Yeah. Like you can't. He crumbled, didn't he?
How long was he there? He wasn't there that long, was he? 6 months? Was it that? I don't think it was that long.
About that. He joined in. They sacked him quite early, wasn't it? September. It was before the World Cup. It was before Emery.
Yeah.
And Emery came in October.
So he came. He didn't even get to like manage and develop the team and get him sitting in there. 7 months, I think Chris is saying in the chat. 7 months he was in. So by the time he gets in, they're like, here, have all of these players. Just have them all.
I don't think he'd have full control of the players as well. I honestly think there's too many big personalities in that dressing room for him to be able to handle. A bit like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where I'm not saying he comes across as a nice guy, Graham Potter, like Solskjaer did, but I think some of the big personalities in that dressing room, maybe he couldn't really get grips on.
Take him seriously.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it helped that Tuchel won his first game against Dortmund to go first at the same time. I bet you that is the reason. I bet you they would have kept Graham Potter and let if Thomas Tuchel didn't beat Dortmund and go first in the league.
It's bizarre what happened. I mean, and you got. I don't think Potter had to say no. I don't think he had to say anything.
No.
You looked at the football and you couldn't really understand what they were trying to do, and that literally comes from a situation where the manager hasn't got the players that he wants, so he doesn't know what system. Because otherwise, he wouldn't be chopping and changing it so much.
I mean, unless you see the 7-year contract longer than most marriages. I mean, we're
gonna have a manager merry-go-round now, aren't we?
It's like that. The game against Villa, didn't he play Reece James in a back three?
Yeah, he was doing some funky business.
It was just weird, and I just didn't get it.
But
even the Everton game, it was like he started Pulisic, and it was just like, what are you doing? You just play Mudryk, give him a run of games. Just play him. Why are you playing Pulisic? As if Pulisic and Ziyech, these players, as if they haven't been there for years, doing nothing apart from getting injured. It's just, why are you playing Pulisic? I watched that. I was like, what are you doing?
He's a nice lad. He can say his name. That's probably much easier to say. Come on, Christian. That sounds like...
It'd be funny if he goes straight to Spurs. He's like, well, I'm not moving, so I'm just going to go.
He has turned down Leicester City. That's shocking.
Oh, Leicester basically said they want Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he turned them down. Who would have thought he didn't want to come from Chelsea with the biggest payoff I've ever seen, go straight into a relegation battle?
To the shit show that is Leicester at the moment. That's
It was Crystal Palace too. The wise old owl of Roy Hodgson.
Palace would have been amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, if they didn't, I would have loved Graham Potter at Palace. Actually, Palace is my second favorite team.
Imagine if he went to Spurs and obviously got another payout, he'd be the richest man in football.
Those two clubs, honestly, if you're a manager, just you're just covered. Your retirement plan is just there. Get a job at Spurs at Chelsea and just try and get sacked within a year.
I'm going to see if I can pull up the next Spurs manager odds. Well, let's take a gander. Who's there at the moment?
Well, there's Nagelsmann, Enrique.
Yeah.
Who else?
Nagelsmann's not going to go though, is he? Because he's not.
Isn't Brendan Rodgers linked?
Brendan
to them
Rodgers.
as well?
I think Brendan Rodgers would be good for Spurs.
Yeah.
So he's the odds-on favourite, and then
I think that's perfect.
Because
it makes no sense. No.
I had this conversation with someone the other day. So we had a manager that won nothing. He did nothing with you. He just did all right. Just played all right football.
You're going to bring him back to a team with worse players, in this situation where it's not going to work well the second time around. It's just move on.
That's what you want. Do you know what we want? We want a manager to come back in and do all right. No. We just want to do all right.
No. It'd be a stopgap, but there's actual managers available, good managers available. So I think Brendan Rodgers is a shout. He'll get him playing better football, and he will. He'll bring through some better young players. But the football, that's what they need. They just want better football, and Brendan Rodgers will coach him to play better football.
Do you think Rodgers has still got it though?
Yeah, I think the Leicester thing is I don't think he could have done much. I think they're going down. I think they haven't spent any money. Like they went from being one of the best run clubs to just the worst. They're next to Everton now in terms of just like what is going on. Like they sell players for huge amounts of money and just don't reinvest it properly. And then it's that you can only do that for so long. Southampton did it, and look where they are now. Leicester now, Brighton. That's the route they could go if they keep it up. Well, selling players with big money and not reinvesting it doesn't work.
Well, De Zerbi's linked with Spurs as well. He's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th favourite because he'd want to leave Brighton to go to another club because that works so
too
well,
early.
as Potter's shown.
A lot of that is Potter's system is being it's muscle memory. You need to give a player a couple years to see what they actually can do. Yeah. But De Zerbi looks good.
Vincent
I don't know.
Sixth favourite. Vincent Kompany.
Why the hell? Imagine he goes before winning the championship. Who's making these? Oh, these the bookies trying to win some money off people going. Oh yeah, Vincent Kompany will be a good shout for Spurs. Yeah,
because they got Rodgers. Because what every team wants is a manager who's getting a team relegated to come over. That's what you want. That's exactly. Pochettino, who did nothing, and Nagelsmann, who just got sacked for slightly underperforming. Graham Potter, who just got sacked for doing dreadful at Chelsea. I love the way that they think Spurs. What do we want? A load of managers that have underperformed. That's the manager for Spurs.
That just sums Spurs up, though, doesn't it? It literally sums them up.
But it's at that point in the season, isn't it, where it's like usually at this point, if you're looking for a manager or you sacked, you haven't really got much to apart from if you're not being getting relegated. It's usually a relegation thing. You don't usually have a team fighting for top 4. Who now needs to get a manager in and it's within reach. And it's now you have to think about it. It's like who is going to come in and get us that for, especially if you're Spurs. Spurs have to get it right, or because they can get this in their hands, to be honest, I think.
Well, I mean, Heather and Chris are chatting in the YouTube chat for any of our audio listeners.
Scott Parker.
They're saying he's been sacked from Bruges. Wouldn't that be good if he went to Chelsea and really upset all the Fulham fans? I think that's superb. Yeah, and then he gets sacked again from Chelsea because that's what they do. And, that'd be absolutely superb. But I mean, yes, at Leicester, we think they're in trouble. I sort of agree. I'm still half-heartedly sort of hoping it's Everton. I'm really torn with Everton because obviously as a Liverpool fan, I sort of want them to get relegated, but I love Sean Dyche. So I don't want Nottingham Forest to go down because I like Nottingham Forest. I don't want Bournemouth to go down because Heather's in the chat and I think it would upset it. But yeah, I think Leeds are in trouble. West Ham I think they're going to be pulled into it. And I genuinely think at this stage it's between West Ham, Everton, Leeds, and Leicester, Southampton.
I'd agree with that. West Ham's European fixtures as well. They're in the Conference League, but their team's just too good to go down. But I don't know. I'm not convinced by Leeds, and I even said Bournemouth, but Bournemouth won on the weekend, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, against Fulham, was it?
Yeah, just stuff like that. It's just Bournemouth are starting to play well at the right point. They've picked up some good wins. Yeah,
I think they're safe. I generally think it's sort of it'll be Leeds, Leicester, Everton, West Ham, and Southampton. I think they are the teams.
I think Leeds have definitely got Southampton. Another one which it wouldn't surprise me if they started winning games again. They're just out of nowhere.
I love Heather. She loves the championship anyway. Doesn't matter. Same reason that Charlotte loves National League. Doesn't matter.
Oh, we're not down yet. We won. Going down with a fight. Confident now.
And Chris says, yeah, it is. It's going to be really exciting. And the relegation battle, I think, is something that we'll talk a little bit.
Imagine the last game of the season. It'll be the fight for Premier League, fight for top 4, and fight for relegation, all on the last day of the season.
It's exciting times, generally. I mean, I think if you're a sort of Fulham, Crystal Palace, Chelsea,
Villa,
you've got nothing to play for. Liverpool.
Just enjoy it. Yeah, get your popcorn out. Brian, Fulham, Villa, you done all your job early on in the season. Look at Fulham. Fulham are pretty much on holiday mode. They're like, well, we're not getting relegated, so we don't need to we don't need to try anymore.
Just hang out.
We'll just chill.
we'll just chill out and do that. But on that, I mean, I think that brings us to the end because time-wise, isn't time flying? It's so lovely. Time is flying by. So that brings us on to some of our additional leagues, which hopefully I've set this up correctly because I can't remember what I've done. But let's get out and get rid of this.
This one's done, isn't it?
So
this is the French league now.
No. So it is La Liga, La Liga. We haven't got Sam with us. Sam's doing stuff. Apparently, he's got a life outside of doing podcast stuff, which I sort of took for granted because he's so wonderful at doing everything. We love you, Sam. So I've done no prep for this whatsoever, so I do apologise. But just very quickly, I've taken a quick glance. Gosh, what a lot of red cards there's been. Mallorca, Osasuna, red card in the 69th minute. Or even, although they drew, I love a game where they draw and someone still wants to get sent off. I think that's lovely. And where's the other game that I just saw where there was 2 red cards? There was Girona, my Girona, and Espanyol. Girona won 2-1. And Jesus got sent off.
It's all about Jesus.
Jesus is all over the pond. God. So Jesus got sent off in the 75th minute. Sergi Gonzalez got sent off in the 83rd minute, and Girona then scored a penalty in the 88th minute. I'm amazed no one got sent off after that. That would have been lovely. And then one more game with one more red card was Villarreal, who won 2-0. Nicholas Jackson got sent off in the 91st minute. What a pointless red card to get when you're already 2-0 and winning. Just what a waste. I think that I don't know if you follow the pod regularly, you would have picked up. There's been a lot of red cards in the league at the moment, which is who knows what's going on. And Sam's favourite team, the retirement village of Sevilla, they won 2-0 against Cadiz. Cadiz, who actually, last time I looked, they were well down, but they're 15th at the moment. But who scored? Lucas Ocampos. Lucas will know Lucas Ocampos.
Yeah, FM legend.
Yeah, and I'm going to attempt this name in the 74th minute. Youssef El Nesri. That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
Wait, so Seville out, right? Oh, they're not safe. Oh my God, Seville and Valencia need to.
Yeah, I mean, Valencia
go down. That'd be insane.
I mean, and Elche, my local team, Elche, got battered 4-0 by Barcelona, which was very sad.
They're on double figures now, so it's better.
I'm not holding out a lot of hope. I mean, 2 wins after 27 games doesn't really instill a hell of a lot of confidence. So that's sad. But Real Madrid pumped Valladolid. Or Valladolid, if you want to say it correctly.
That was a destruction.
Yeah, it was, and Benzema scoring a hat-trick. Benzema still at 65 years old, as I'm assuming he must be at this stage of his career, still scoring hat-tricks. And Lucas Vazquez just to put the boot in with a goal in the 91st minute, just to be a sod, basically, and upset everybody. But La Liga is sort of done. I've got a funny feeling Barcelona might win La Liga based on that point. So you can disagree with me if you like, but I think that is quite a substantial points difference for them to have at this stage. And you know what? For everybody, while I haven't picked your comments up while I've been going through this is because I've only got one screen this evening, so I've missed them all. So we've got Benzema hat-trick, superb. Chris also had my Elche job going. I can't get citizenship at the moment. Swine. I don't know where they want me. And if you don't get this reference, educate yourself, please. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. What a movie. But I'm not sure when this come up, but is that because my drink's empty? Because it is, and I am contemplating whether I'm going to top it up live on the pod. Just for Charlotte. The next one, to the main man, Lucas. Tell us all about Syria.
Oh boy. Well, let's just go straight into the big result of the weekend, which I don't think is the form from right to left, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, Napoli got battered at home by AC Milan 4-0. Nobody saw that coming. Probably a blip because let's be honest. I mean, this would be the world record for capitulation if Napoli threw it away. I mean, it's impossible, right? 10 games to go, 16 points clear. It is impossible. There's never in the history of football been anything this bad. So they obviously won it, and that's just that was just a blimp. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock. The other thing is, so Juventus got deducted 15 points. They're only 6 points away from top 4 already,
Really?
even with the deduction. So Juve have somehow crawled their way back up there. And then Roma, Atalanta, it's going down to the wire, honestly. Lazio with a good win as well at the weekend. So anything. I mean, I think Napoli is, the title's gone, but 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I think any of that could rotate between now and the end. I'm not convinced by Inter. I wasn't convinced by Milan. That was a one-off, but I'm not convinced by either of the Milan clubs, to be honest. I think Roma have looked good, but Mourinho probably wants the Europa League. They'll probably put all their eggs in that basket, especially if they're hanging around 5th. Atalanta, no. And then Juve. I think Juve are going to sneak in there. I reckon Lazio haven't got it all the way to the end. So I think one of the Milan clubs, Lazio, are going to swap with Juve and potentially Roma.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love Roma to be up there because I love Mourinho. I mean, Chris agrees with you. Think Juve can do it.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if they can do that after the points deduction as well, you can't really knock that, can you? I think that's
a good league. It's a good league. Well, we'll ignore the teams in the bottom.
I mean, I will admit it's been quite an entertaining league that we've been talking about. I mean, and as we come into sort of like the tail end of all the seasons, I've sort of thought I've actually quite enjoyed learning about some of these leagues that I haven't been too keen with before. It's been lovely. That takes us over to the Bundesliga. It was Tommy Tuchel's first game in charge. With a pumped Dortmund 4-2. And Charlotte did share in our chat that one of the sports networks thought Uma Pacano scored for them, which wasn't right. I'm pretty sure he doesn't play for them. So that was quite good. They didn't really need any help. And it was a 4-2 pumping. And there's an unknown goalkeeper ever, Thomas Muller. I'm sure he's about 58 at least.
He's still younger than your midfield, though.
Nice.
God, it's just not necessary, is it? That's tantamount to bullying.
We actually glossed over quickly, but Valencia are losing right now.
Oh, bless their heart. I mean, Valencia's a club that just simply shouldn't go down. And I'm just checking in at half-time, incidentally, in the Spurs game. Does anyone want to take a guess? Spurs Everton at half-time?
5-3. 0-0.
Shocking. Who would have thought?
That's got 1-0 written, or 1-0 80 something minute. One of them's probably Spurs, to be honest.
It'll be an own goal.
yeah, exactly. Michael Keane own goal.
Yeah,
he's another one. Awful defender.
Oh, that would be absolutely stupendous. But Union Berlin, our favourite, the pod favourite team in the Bundesliga, they won against Stuttgart 3-0. And to be fair, even though their form sort of waned a little bit, they're starting to pick up again. They're starting to build up a little bit of momentum, which is nice. Freiburg, still doing pretty well. They drew 1-1 with Hertha Berlin, but the fact that Union Berlin and Freiburg are both there above like Leipzig, for example, I think is fabulous. I think it's absolutely wonderful to see there. And of course, my favourite, and incidentally, Leipzig lost. But our favourite, old Xavi Alonso, still doing bits, still tearing it up.
Imagine he gets top 4.
3-0 victory against Schalke. 3-0. They were in the relegation zone when that boy took them.
They're literally right behind. What a miracle.
And look at that. I mean, what's 4
That's an insane recovery, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally 6 points, 2 wins off Freiburg, and it's doable. It's really
He might
doable.
be the real deal, Alonso.
I do rate he might be. No, I was going to say something that might be derogatory to Gerrard, but I'm not, because I love Gerrard.
You know what? If he has a good, I didn't even think about that. Alonso might be a better choice if he.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but I don't want to say it because me and Stevie, one day we're going to meet and he's going to embrace me and we're going to hold each other. And it's going to be beautiful.
Gonna talk about Jesus.
You and Stevie.
Yeah, it is. That's the only way it can happen if Jesus makes it happen. I'm going to pray to the big JC, not GC, not Gemma Collins, JC. Jesus Christ.
Gemma Collins.
tearing up trees, Javier. And genuinely, what a job he's done now. It's absolutely superb. And if he can get into the Champions League, that would just be absolutely crazy. And I genuinely think that he can do it. Genuinely. I mean, the matches they've got, who are they playing? They're playing, they've got Frankfurt. They're the only big teams they've got. I mean, they have got Union Berlin, I think, and Leipzig. So they've got two of the teams above them. So they could do it. They could do it. And it would be beautiful. Lisa, Bayern are going to win the league. I think they might.
Yeah.
I think they are spoiling.
Probably still would have with Nagelsmann as well.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that could sack Julian Nagelsmann and then bring in Thomas Tuchel in the season, I think you've got a bit of a monopoly in that league, and it's not very nice. And Wolfsburg, right? And Werder Bremen, they're one of the teams that always used to do well. And Cologne, it's a very nice place to go. Smells lovely. Thank you. That takes us over to the French League. The French League of Ligue 1. And over in League 1, as you can see, Lens are top, not PSG. You're gone. We want no more to do.
To be fair, we could probably copy them back in because didn't they slip up on the weekend?
I was going to say, do you know what I didn't notice? Because La Liga, we don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's PSG's fault. Last week, PSG lost 2-0 to Reims. And this week they lost 1-0 to Lyon. So they've lost. So PSG at the moment.
Come on, Marseille.
They're losers.
Come on, Marseille.
They are. I mean, Marseille drew 1-1 with Montpellier.
Oh, God's sake.
I know. just spoiling it for everyone. My favourite team to just say because I love the name, Clermont Foot. Just a fabulous team, and they got some really, really, really nice team names in Ligue 1. It's because they got the Nice drew 1-1 with Angers, and another team with a lovely name, Brest, beat Toulouse 3-1. And the child in me is absolutely elated. But as you can see, it's very, very tight at the top there with Lens on 60, Marseille on 60, Monaco 57, Lille 52, and Reims on 50. Very competitive league there. Now PSG have been forcefully removed out of League. And apparently, Messi got whistled by his own fans. And he's out of contract this summer. I've actually seen a couple of articles saying what a good move it would be. It would make sense for Messi to go back to Barcelona. No, they can't even. I've read they're struggling with contracts for Gavi and Ansu Fati.
I've seen that he's joining that team that Ronaldo plays for.
Imagine.
That'd be lovely.
Or Al Nassr.
I don't know what I saw that on. I might have even dreamt
That'd
it.
be hilarious.
If
he just follows Ronaldo to Saudi Arabia to play.
That'd be amazing.
Ronaldo must have put something in his contract which said that under any circumstances are you to sign Lionel Messi whilst I'm still playing for you.
Or if he comes, I'm taking the penalties.
Yeah.
So you're not alone. Chris has heard that as well. But that is League One, very competitive league now. And look, Angers, they must be very angry at the bottom of the league. And now, moving over to everybody's favourite, old Charlotto, as Lucas is showing us his armpit. What a lovely armpit. Look at that.
That wasn't very professional, was it? Apologies for that. Just the wrong section on Twitch.
It's so like, because you're a beautiful man and you can and get away with anything. But from a beautiful man to a beautiful lady, Charlotte, tell us what's happening in the lower leagues.
Yeah, so the Championship, there is no change at the top. Burnley still at the top on 84 points, despite their 0-0 draw at home to Sunderland. Second, Sheffield United on 73 points. They lost 1-0 away to Lucas's favourite team, Norwich.
Woo!
Woo! In the playoffs, we've got Middlesbrough on 67 points. They actually lost 4-2 away to relegation strugglers Huddersfield. So, yeah, Michael Carrick's men are still in third on goal difference despite their loss.
Can't they be in second? I want them to be in second. I don't want Sheffield United to get promoted. I don't want it.
Michael Carrick as well has done similar to Jabi Alonso, where obviously he took over while Middlesbrough were in a relegation spot, and he's done wonders with them, doing really, really well.
Both sexy midfielders as well, as in players. As in players.
Good midfielders, yeah. In fourth, we've got Luton on 67 points, same as Middlesbrough. They're doing absolutely brilliant, and they won 2-0 at home to Watford and are 6 points clear of 5th and 6th place now. So, yeah, like I said, they are level with Middlesbrough in third. 5th position, we've got Millwall on 61 points. They drew 0-0 away at West Brom. And again, on 61 points, in 6th position, we've got Blackburn. And they did lose, though, to 16th place Birmingham. So, even though obviously they did lose, they have got that last playoff spot. And in relegation, we've got no change. 22nd, we've got Huddersfield. Like I mentioned, they did beat Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough 4-2. They're on 39 points. They are actually 4 points clear, though, of 23rd place. And they're on the same points as Cardiff, who were just above them. So even though they have got the relegation spot, same points as Cardiff, so they are catching up. And then in 23rd place, we've got Blackpool. They lost 3-1 away to their local rivals, Preston. So that was a really big derby for them. And bottom of the table, same old, unfortunately, we have Wigan on 34 points. Despite being bottom, though, they actually did beat QPR 1-0, so they seem to be going down with a fight. They seem to be picking up points, bottom teams, but will it be enough? I do not know.
And Heather in the chat, incidentally, would love Luton to come up. She thinks it'll put the cat on the pigeon.
Jokes, yeah.
I'd
more
love Luton
like
to
London teams coming up.
And
How on earth have QPR been dragged into a relegation battle? What?
I know. And Cardiff as well.
Oh, shit, I didn't even see Cardiff.
Yeah.
Still not a fan of Cardiff after the way they acted after Miriam and Salah. They deserve it. And also, their ticket prices are extortionate. They deserve to go down. But on the Sky Bet, League One.
Yes, so at the top we have got Sheff Wednesday on 80 points. Below them we have got Plymouth. They didn't play in the league though. They were actually in the final of the Papa John's Trophy, but they got absolutely thumped by Bolton 4-0. So unfortunate losers, but they are still doing well in the league. And I think it's going to be a tough one between Sheff Wednesday and Plymouth, but I think Plymouth will edge it because Sheff Wednesday just seems to be messing it up. They were quite a few points clear not that long ago, but they seem to be doing everything in the willpower to be messing it up. So, yeah.
I'd love Plymouth to come up as well.
Same.
Definitely. Because their fans are really cool and the food is great.
I love it. They are really friendly, though, the fans, to be fair. Friendly.
Friendly so nice.
In the playoffs, no change. Ipswich are in third place on 78 points. They beat Derby 2-0 away from home. And Derby have now actually fallen out of the playoff places on goal difference. As you can see.
Gosh, that's
7th place.
Isn't it?
Yeah. In 4th place, we've got Barnsley on 75 points. They absolutely battered Morecambe at home 5-0. Poor Morecambe. Bolton obviously didn't have a game. They're still in 64 points, but they did win the Papa John's Trophy and they are champions this year. And Peterborough, do have the last playoff spot now. They're on 64 points and they drew 0-0 to Oxford. And in relegation, we have no change at all. Accrington Stanley didn't play. I think they were due to either play Plymouth or Bolton. So they're in 21st position. 22nd position, a Morecambe on 34 points. Obviously, as I mentioned, they got beat 5-0 to Barnsley. Cambridge are in 23rd on 33 points and they beat Port Vale 2-0. So that's a great 3 points for them, despite them still being in relegation. And unfortunately, Forest Green, they're still on 26 points and they lost 1-0 to Portsmouth. So no change.
Incidentally, shot in the chat, we do have Matt from Football United.
Hi, Matt.
Hello, Matt. Speaking of Matt and speaking of Jesus, as we have done, he looks a little bit like a stereotypical Jesus. He's got the beard and the hairstyle. He's very chilled and laid out, and that's what I imagine Jesus would be like. So thank you for joining us, Matt, and sorry to any religious zealots who are watching for making a comparison between Matt and your Lord and Saviour. Moving on to everybody's favourite league. Everybody's favourite league with everybody's favourite team. League Two. Tell us about League Two, Shah.
Yeah, so I'll start at the top. So no change at the top. Leyton Orient are there still on 77 points. They beat 4th place Carlisle 1-0 despite having a man sent off. Second, no change again. Northampton on 70 points. They drew 1 apiece to Stevenage. They're still in 2nd place and Stevenage are obviously in 3rd place, as you can see, on 68 points. Playoffs. This is really tight in the playoffs. And honestly, I think anyone to Sutton really could make playoffs because it's just so close. But in 4th place, we have Carlisle on 66 points, despite their loss to Leyton Orient. They are still in 4th, but they are only 2 points ahead of Stockport and Bradford and are 2 points off 3rd place. So they could easily drop points and end up going below them teams, or if they pick up a win, they could go 3rd. So it is very, very close. In 5th place, we've got Stockport on 64 points. They actually played against Salford, so it's a local derby, and they drew 1 apiece. 6th is Bradford on 64 points. They had another early kick-off, and what a game it was. They actually beat Grimsby 3-2 at home, but great game. Quite a few goals in that one. And 7th spot, obviously, as I mentioned, Salford, 63 points. They drew to Stockport, but honestly, if you might not be interested because it's League Two, but you want to see Salford's goal. It was absolutely fantastic. Honestly, it was an absolute rocket. So if you do get time, please check it out because it was a worlder. And relegation, Hartlepool obviously in 23rd position on 35 points. 2 late goals for them. The 88th minute and 90+4. Obviously, that's not good for us. I actually didn't check the results. So I finished work. We won and they were losing 1-0. So I was walking back from work, like proper happy, jolly with life.
A bit of swag.
Results. Yeah, proper dancing, had my AirPods in, my music on, playing happy songs. Got home, put the scores, and I was like, what? I was absolutely gutted. Obviously, it's still great. Despite being bottom, we did get a win, a shock win as well, because I weren't sure where we could pick any points up from because we have been struggling all season. But yeah, we won 1-0 away at Wimbledon. It was absolutely great win for us. And Danny Lloyd on the score sheet with another great goal from him. So as much as obviously it's frustrating because Hartlepool did win, it was good to get a win, unexpected, because obviously we have been struggling. But it's still very close at the bottom. I did write us off and it's a hard one because I still think, looking at the table, we are going to go down. But if you look at these teams now, like obviously Crawley getting dragged back into it on 37 points. They lost 4-1 away to Mansfield. Colchester on 38 points. Despite them getting a draw, they're not picking up many points. And Harrogate the same. They've not really picked up many points. So
there's still hope.
What's that?
There's still hope.
There's not. Looking at that with Rochdale, like I writ us off like a good few weeks ago. I'm not saying we will, but potentially I think we're picking up points. We're doing all right. We have got quite a bad run in. We've got some of the higher teams, but we have been beating them.
But you're saying there's a chance.
I don't know for us, but I think Hartlepool. I wouldn't write Hartlepool off.
Go on, say it because we need.
No,
clickbait.
I'm not saying it because I'll jinx us. I'll jinx us. I was so negative last week, and look, we got a win, so I'm not saying it. But
do you want us to ask Jesus?
Yeah, please pray for me. Pray for us.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, Charlotte said there's a chance Rochdale.
No, I didn't. I don't really think Hartlepool. I don't think Hartlepool will go down. I think another team. There's always one just above the relegation zone who you don't expect, but towards the end we kind of get dragged into it. And I think maybe Colchester Harrogate are that team.
I was going to say Colchester. Their form isn't looking great, is it?
Yeah. So I'm not saying we are going to survive. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think Hartlepool will go down.
Someone else. Breaking news, by the way. Everton Spurs. It's not a goal, unfortunately. Red card. For Decore.
It is. I did just notice Decore got sent off for the 15th minute. And you'll be pleased to know there was only one shot on target in the first half. In the second half, there's been two.
Way improvement.
Harry Kane 1-0 this is happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for those of you that have, braved missing that game to be with us today, we really appreciate it because you've been missing a humdinger. It's been an absolute hoot. and yes, just pray with Matt. Pray with Matt. Our own personal Jesus, in the words of Matt Manson. Culture. What can I say? You get it all here: religion, culture, football. It's just non-stop. The diversity is crazy. But I think though that covers us off massively. Before we go, this Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. It is this Wednesday. We've got Kira. I think her last name is Knox. Kira Knox and Sam and I are doing another All About after our wonderful success of the All About West Ham pod. We've got Kira. She's from Toffee Fans TV. She does a lot with the WSL. She covers bits as well for the men's game, and she's going to be joining Sam and I on Wednesday. We're very excited. She seems really good. All the conversations we have been really positive with her, so we're very much looking forward to that. And hopefully, because Sam is Superman, there's a good chance that is going to be replacing our light bite on Thursday. We're going to record it. He's going to edit it. He's going to bang it up. So please watch it. Any questions that you've got at all about Everton, whether you want to knock them for spending loads of money irresponsibly, for going flying through managers like they're Chelsea, any questions that you have at all, please send it through to us, send it through direct or to any of the team. All of our little links are in our names, and we can put that forward to Kiva. That is on Wednesday. We're very excited. But before we go, of course, everybody's been watching today is thinking, what a wonderful group of people. Thank you, wonderful group of people, for following us today as well. The chat and the interaction has been really, really great. We really, really appreciate it. You make the pod a lot of fun. The fact that you've all been here watching all the way through, it's been excellent. Really, really appreciate that. But of course, everyone watching this is going to be thinking, I need more Lucas in my life. I need more Lucas in my life. Lucas, how can people get more Lucas in their life?
Crab Dribble on Twitch and TikTok and Twitter.
Fantastic. And Charlotte, obviously, there's already over 22,000 people that know where to find you. But to get to like that 25, 30, as you will do at some point, how can people find you? Where are you?
I'm most active on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm SharXRAFC, or my Rochdale Her Game 2 stuff. On the same socials is Rochdale HGT.
Fantastic. And if you want to follow me, I don't know why I'm concerned about you, but I am FMFO Official on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I do nothing on those things, but just follow me. Show some love. But on Twitter, where I seem to be most active at the moment, you can follow me there. But of course, we want you all to follow the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Drop us a like on our videos. Check out the Light Bites. We've done 2 mascot episodes with Charlotte and Sam, and they were fantastic. Charlotte's professionalism, her control, it's just gone. She goes to pieces in all of them. It's fabulous. It's well worth a watch, so make sure that you check it out. And follow us. I think Sam has very kindly put in some of our banners here because I forget them all the time. You can catch us on Twitter. We are at Absolute Football Pod, TikTok at Absolute Football Pod, on Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast _. Please follow us, show some love. That would be really, really nice, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I've been Josh, she's been Charlotte, he's been Lucas. You have been absolutely fan-dabby-dozy. Thank you very much for joining us. Trust the process. We'll catch you next time.